Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Comfort Zone.
Hi, everyone. We're really happy you're here with us today.
If you're new here, feel free to like this video and subscribe to the channel. It really helps us share more English conversations with you.
I'm Anna.
And I'm Leo.
So, Leo, what are we talking about today?
Today, we are doing a deep dive into something that I think scares a lot of people, but it really shouldn't. We're talking about common English at work.
That's a huge topic, but maybe we should be clear right at the start. We aren't talking about giving a big presentation.
No, not at all. Not standing in front of 500 people.
Right. And we're not talking about, writing a really complex report either.
Exactly. We're talking about the small conversations. The ones that happen, maybe 20 times a day?
The stuff that really fills up your workday, like saying hello, giving a quick update.
Asking a simple question in a meeting, that sort of thing.
And we found some really great sources for this. We have some transcripts of, real office conversations and some advice on business culture.
Yeah, and even some research on why small talk is actually good for our brains, which I thought was fascinating.
It really is. And the best part is that most workplace English is actually quite simple. It follows a pattern.
A pattern. I like that idea. Once you know the pattern, you can relax a little bit.
Exactly. So should we unpack this? Maybe start right at the beginning of the day.
Okay, so you walk into the office, or I guess you log onto your computer at home these days. What happens first?
The greeting. It seems so basic.
But it's important. And the most common way to start is the classic, good morning, and then usually, how are you?
Right, but here's where it gets interesting. That question, how are you? It isn't always a real question, is it?
No, not really. It's more like a polite habit,
Yeah.
kind of a verbal handshake.
Yeah. So if you ask me, how are you? I don't need to give you my whole life story.
Right, you don't need to tell me about your back pain or the argument you had with your neighbor.
Just keep it simple. Our source dialogue had a great example. Morning, Tom. How are you? And the reply is just, I'm good, thanks. And you?
That's the standard pattern. It's safe. It works.
But there was another option in the source that I really likes. The other person says, I'm okay. A bit tired, to be honest.
A bit tired. I like that. It's honest, but it's still, polite. You're not complaining too much.
Exactly. And then the fan person replies, Mondays are always like that.
And that little moment, that's really important, isn't it?
It's so important. That's a moment of connection. You're saying, I get it. I understand.
You're in this together. It sort of builds a tiny bridge between you.
Yes. Which leads right into this idea of breaking the ice. I used to think that meant you had to tell a joke or something.
Me too. But it's much, much simpler than that.
It really is. Breaking the ice is just saying something small to make the other person feel comfortable.
Like in the examples we saw. Things like, did you have a busy morning?
Or even just, did you just get in? It's a very easy question to answer.
And there's actually a scientific reason for this. One of our sources talked about the psychology of it.
Oh, yeah, the safety signals part. That was fascinating.
So chatting about the weather or your commute isn't just wasting time.
Not at all. When we have these small interactions, our brains get a signal. The signal is, I'm friendly, this environment is safe.
It helps the brain relax. It reduces something called cognitive load.
Which basically just means how hard your brain has to work. If there's no small talk, your brain stays a little bit stressed, a little on guard.
So a quick, how was your weekend, actually makes the rest of the day feel easier.
Yes, it makes your brain work better. It connects you.
Okay, so we've started the day. Our brains are feeling safe.
Huh.
Now we have to actually, do some work.
And this is where people can get a little nervous, I think.
Yeah, you feel like you have to explain every single detail to prove you're working hard.
Which is a really common mistake.
Yeah.
Most of the time, your colleagues just want the short version, the headline, not the whole story.
So let's look at how to ask what someone is doing. A very simple phrase from the source was, what are you working on this morning?
It's direct, but it's friendly.
And the answer should be simple too, like I'm starting with the client report.
Or the other example was, I'm updating a few slides.
I love that. I'm updating a few slides. He didn't say, well, I'm opening PowerPoint and I'm on slide 4 and I'm changing the font.
Right. Nobody needs that much detail. Just the general idea is enough.
It shows you're busy, you're focused, but you're not boring the other person.
Exactly.
Okay, but what about giving updates to a manager? That feels a bit more stressful.
It can be. But again, simple phrases are your best friend. One of my favorites from the source was starting with, quick update.
Quick update. That sounds efficient.
It does. Quick update. I've finished the first section. Simple.
And what if everything is just fine? No big news.
Then you can use the phrase, nothing major.
Nothing major. I like that. So my boss asks any issues with the project.
You can say, nope, nothing major. It tells them there are no big problems. They can relax.
That's very reassuring. But what if the work isn't finished yet? I always worry about making a promise I can't keep.
That's a good point. You want to use phrases that give a time frame, but with a little bit of flexibility.
Like, I should have it by the end of the day.
Yes. That little word should is so important. It says, this is the plan, but it leaves a little room in case something unexpected happens.
Another good one was, I'll send it once it's ready.
And there was one more phrase I really liked that a manager might use. Keep me posted.
Oh, yeah. That's a great one. It shows trust, doesn't it?
It really does. It means I trust you to do the work. I don't need to check on you every 5 minutes. Just, tell me if something changes.
It's so much better than give me a report every hour.
Keep me posted is casual but very professional.
Okay, let's move on to the place where I think English skills really get tested for a lot of people. The meeting.
Ah, yes, the dreaded meeting.
But the source material here was actually really encouraging. It said that most of the English used in meetings is surprisingly simple.
It is. It's all about structure. If you're leading the meeting, you don't need big, fancy words to start.
You can just say, thank you all for coming.
Simple. And then you just need to say why you're there. I sometimes hear people use big words like objectives or strategic alignment.
Right. But you don't need to. Our source suggested just saying, our aim today is to.
Our aim today is to decide on the new budget. So much clearer.
And then you just share the plan, the agenda.
And you can just use simple words for that. First, we will discuss the report. Next, we will cover the timeline.
First. Next. Yeah, I can remember that.
It helps everyone follow along.
Okay, so what if I'm not leading? I'm just sitting in the meeting and I want to say something, but I don't want to be rude and interrupt.
You can use a simple phrase to signal you have an idea, like, I think we should try.
Or from my point of view.
Yes, those are perfect. And what if you agree with someone?
You can just say, I'm with you on this.
I love that one. I'm with you on this. It sounds so supportive. It builds a good feeling in the room.
Now, one of the sources had a section on mistakes. And this was interesting. It talked about outdated language.
Oh, yes. The old-fashioned phrases.
I see this in emails all the time. Kindly find attached.
Or, I am writing to inform you. It sounds so stiff.
It sounds like a robot from, like, the 1990s.
So what's the modern way?
Just be human. Say, I'm writing to let you know. Or even simpler.
Here is the report.
Exactly. Simple is almost always better.
But what if you're in a meeting and you don't understand something? Maybe someone is speaking too fast.
That happens to everyone. And it's okay to stop them.
Right. In fact, our source says that asking for clarification shows you are actively listening.
So it doesn't make you look stupid.
Not at all. It makes you look engaged. It shows you care enough to get the information right.
So what can I say? Something like, could you repeat that, please?
Yeah, or, I missed that. Could you say it again? And there's a great softening phrase you can use. Just to check.
Oh, just to check. I like that.
Just to check is the deadline on Tuesday. It softens the question. It doesn't sound like you're challenging them. You're just confirming.
That is a perfect transition to our next topic, the very tricky art of disagreeing.
This is hard in any language, I think.
Right. You have a different idea, but you don't want to sound rude.
And the source had a really specific tip here. It said to be very careful with the word but.
Yes, the but eraser.
Exactly. If I say, Leo, that's a great idea, but it's too expensive, what do you hear?
I only hear it's too expensive.
The but erases the nice part. So the solution is to use and instead, or just pause.
So I could say, I see where you're coming from. My concern is the deadline.
Perfect. You listened, and then you added your own concern. You didn't delete my point.
The source also mentioned using I statements.
Yes. So instead of saying you're wrong, which is very aggressive.
Yeah, please don't say that.
Right. You can say, I have some concerns about this, or I see it a little differently.
It makes it about your perspective, not their failure.
Now, what about giving feedback? Maybe someone's work wasn't quite right.
The source brings up the classic feedback sandwich.
I've heard of this. Can you explain it?
Sure. It's like a sandwich. You start with something positive. That's the top piece of bread. Then you give the criticism, the improvement. That's the meat in the middle.
And then you finish with another positive comment, the bottom piece of bread.
Positive, improvement, positive.
Right. The example was, I really liked the content of your presentation. That's the first positive.
Then, the slides were a bit hard to read. That's the criticism.
And finally, But the flow of the presentation was really good. It just makes the criticism easier to hear.
It protects the relationship. Which brings us to tone. Tone is so important. And there's a warning here about words like actually and obviously.
Actually seems harmless. What's the problem with it?
Well, it can sound like you think the other person is wrong. If I say, actually, the meeting is tomorrow.
It sounds a little rude, like I should have known that already.
Exactly. It sounds a bit like a correction. So a better way is to just state the fact gently.
Maybe. Just a reminder, the meeting is tomorrow.
Just a reminder. That's so much friendlier. It's helpful, not critical.
Now, let's talk about culture for a moment. This is so important because English is a global language.
Right. But we don't all use it in the same way. The British Council source had some great examples. Let's start with names.
In the US and the UK, what's the norm?
First names. Almost always, even with your boss. It's seen as a way to break the ice and be friendly.
But that's not true everywhere. The source warns that in a place like Germany, for example, titles are very important.
Like Doctor or Mr. or Mrs.
Yes. You use the formal title until that person invites you to use their first name.
So what's the advice if you're on a new international team?
Just listen. Listen to how other people talk to each other. And if you're really not sure, it's okay to ask.
What would you ask?
Something simple. How would you like to be addressed? It's a very respectful question.
Okay, what about something like smiling?
Well, in the US and UK, smiling is a sign of openness and friendliness.
And not everywhere.
Not necessarily. The source noted that in Russia, for example, smiling for no reason can seem insincere.
Like you're not taking the situation seriously.
Exactly. And the same goes for eye contact. In most English-speaking business cultures, looking someone in the eye shows you're listening and you're confident.
But in some other cultures, too much direct eye contact can feel aggressive or awkward.
So the main point is just to be aware, to be observant, and know that different people have different habits.
Okay, we are getting near the end of the day. We need to wrap things up.
We survived the morning, the updates, the meeting.
How do we say goodbye?
We go back to simple, clear phrases. The source gave us, that's everything for today.
Or my favorite, we're all set.
We're all set. I like that. It just means we're finished, we're ready to go.
And then you have that little closing ritual, just like in the morning.
See you tomorrow, or have a good evening.
It signals the end of the workday and that the relationship is good. We'll see each other again.
Just one last quick thing on emails. The source had a really important tip for that final email of the day. Proofread.
Yes, please proofread.
Especially the spelling of people's names.
Getting a name wrong is such a small mistake, but it feels really bad to the person who receives it.
It does. And try to reply within 24 hours if you can. It's just polite.
So after this whole deep dive, what's the big takeaway for people listening?
I think the main idea is that you don't need to be a perfect English speaker. Most workplace communication is just about using simple, polite phrases.
It's about being polite and being clear. Things like quick update or just to check.
These phrases reduce stress. For you and for your colleagues, they make work easier.
So here's a thought I'll leave you with.
Okay.
We talked about how small talk sends these safety signals. So next time you're at work, just look around.
And ask yourself, who are the people creating that safety?
And are you one of them?
That's a great question. It's not just about the words we use, is it? It's about the feeling we create.
It's nice to know that workplace English is mostly simple phrases.
Yes, it's about being polite and clear. You don't need to be perfect.
We hope these examples help you feel more comfortable at work tomorrow.
Let us know in the comments which phrase you want to use.
Thanks for joining us on English Comfort Zone.
See you next time. Bye, everyone.